It is our traditions, ceremonies, and rituals. Each small detail carries a deep layer of our ancestors' wisdom. It is our pride, our treasure, our national encyclopedia. Let's turn the pages of this encyclopedia together.
The Kazakhs have a legend which tells, in ancient times the song flew above the earth, and in those places where it flew low, people have learned to sing, and it flew very close to the Kazakh boundless steppes. This is the reason why the Kazakhs became the first songwriters as singers in the world. It is just a legend, but it reflects the importance of music and song in the life of the Kazakhs. The song existed in everyday life and holidays, during the migrations or stops. People sang songs, especially during the days when different ceremonies were arranged. As musicologists state, folklore of our people is applied genres that appeared as part of ceremonies. The songs sang by bride, you will hear only one in the wedding. The ceremony of introducing daughter-in-law to the family is impossible without song called Betashar. Song Jarapazan is sang only during Oraza, which is Muslims fasting, and the song Zhoktau is part of the funeral ceremony. So the folklore genres have their purpose. They are used in ceremonies, rituals, in everyday life, for example the lullaby. The birth of the person, his or her every move to a completely new status, and his or her death, all these periods correspond to the certain genres of folklore. The most vivid example is the Kazakh wedding. It consists of ritual actions which are accompanied by the songs. In the old days, when the bride arrived in the village of her husband, the women used to hide her from the evil eye behind a special curtain. When people gathered, everything was ready for toy, which means wedding and celebration, and the women led the bride from the separate yurt.
Ағайын, ағайын, бірге деңе жарайын, бетін ашып келіннің, көрімдігін алайын, келінің бетін ашқан.
This is ritual of Betashar. This ritual is arranged when the bride comes to her husband's family, and it is arranged under the song which is called Betashar. As the title of ritual indicates, Betashar is the opening of the face. The bride arrives, she is a new member of the family. To get her acquainted with all the people of the village, they officially open her face in front of the people. This shows that she came with the covered face, and now she is introduced to the entire family. The song Betashar has long been sung by Akhunds, Zhirshi, poets and singers, who were considered as the ancient carriers of the poetic talent. They sang about the beauty and dignity of the bride and told words of edification. The writer Mukhtar Awezov compared Betashar with the moral code of the family.
Ай бәрекелді, ал олай болса бүгінгі әулетке түсіп отқан айдай сұлу ақ келіннің бетін қазағымыздың келі қара домбырасымен, әужарымен, жаржарымен бір тамаша бетін ашып берейік. Ай бәрекелді.
In Kazakh, it sounds as osiyet. Be respectful, be careful, do not undercut the adults. Akhund or Zhirshi says such words of edification. Then, in the second part, he introduces the bride to the groom's family. In Kazakh, bride calls the groom's family Qainjurt. While saying the name of each family member, Akhund asks the bride to bow, and he says, Qaina tana bir salem, Qaina ghana bir salem, Qaina pana bir salem, which means, bow to your father-in-law, bow to your brother-in-law, bow to your mother-in-law, and the bride bows. At the same time, Tuzhan guests, another daughter-in-law, stand on her both sides, and they also bow. At the end of ritual, Akhund, who sang the song Betashar, opens the bride face with the dombra. It is believed The dombra is Kazakh holy instrument.
Казахский инструмент.
Zhar is another ritual song. However, at the time of our aksakals, elder men, grandmothers and grandfathers' youth, a slightly different version of the song was sang. On modern weddings, modified song is sang.
Жар совершенно изменился и по функции, и
Zhar has completely changed in terms of its functions, background music, and poetic terms.
то есть если раньше жар исполнял
Before, song Zhar was sang in the dialect form between guys and girls. Nowadays, the guests sing this song when they're meeting up the newly married couple.
напев женского жар
Before, there were several types of female version of the song Zhar. Male version was of one type. This song, Zhar, is still alive.
по сей день то, что вот сохранилось,
It is very cheerful and solemn song.
открыт,
Here the guy is singing, "Now say goodbye to the youth. You're leaving to the village of your future husband.
все, прощаешься с молодым,
There, Yene, mother-in-law, will replace your mother, father-in-law will replace your father, and so on."
кровь, отца заменит свекра.
In response, the young bride sings, sometimes together with her friends.
А девушка иногда вот
She sings that no matter how good is mother-in-law, or Yene, she cannot replace her mother. No matter how good is father-in-law, he cannot replace her father,
и так далее,
and so on.
что там
Here she was under the protection of her father.
у
He cherished her, indulged her, but in new family, no one will indulge her.
отца он ее лелеял, баловал, а там ее теперь уже никто не будет баловать.
We have a rare opportunity, thanks to the students, future artists of ethno-music, to show how musical dialogue between the parties of the wedding ceremony used to take place earlier.
Қаранасар замандас, қаранасар жар, қаранасар сәукеле, жашың басар жар. Мұнда кем қалды деп, қам жемеңіз жар, жақсы болса қайнатаң, орның басар жар.
Есік алды қара су, майдан болсын жар. Ақ жүзімді көргендей, айнам болсын жар. Қайнатасы бар дейді, көп жігіттер жар. Айналайын әкемдей, қайдан болсын жар.
Some families include another folklore to wedding ritual. Long ago, while getting married, the Kazakh girl leaving house of parents, close relatives, friends and her village used to sing a song of farewell. Sensu, kız tanısu, kız koştasu.
Сваты приезжают в аул невесты, пока они там празднуют.
The matchmakers come to the village, celebrate, arranged by ge, which means horse races, itis. They are greeted with sweets and so on. At this time, the young lady, with her friends, jenges, daughters-in-law, goes around the whole village and says goodbye to the relatives, uncles, aunts, goes to the places where they used to play being children, all places which she loves, and sings song Koshtasu Ene. Then, the time comes to leave her homeland. The nearer the time, the more dramatic sounds of the song Sensu.
Чем ближе время отъезда, тем трагичнее, драматичнее звучит сенсу.
There is a special meaning in the following actions. Akın, poet, singer, sings the song Betashar. The face of the bride is covered till some time. The special song is sang during the rite of female initiation, turning of the carefree girl into the married woman. Some researchers link a dramatic song Sensu, song which bride sings when she leaves her parents' house, with magical elements, which means of cleansing and catharsis. When the bride or the lady is going outside, I should accompany her. She has a guardian. Everyone has a guardian. When I bring her home, these invisible creatures or guardians, which come with her to the house, can get in touch with my guardians And they may even dislike each other. And then at our level we start arguing. Why did not you put the spoon? Why did not you comb your hair? Take this way. Why do you ask such questions? And so on. How should we protect ourselves? It is very simple. It is necessary to cut her guardians. Now let me explain. When do they, these creatures, her guardians, leave her? When she is dead, because they do not accompany the dead body. Therefore, there are 7 days before the wedding. The bride dresses in new clothes before the wedding. Then, she covers her face, as people cover the face of the dead person.
Потом приходит жених, начинает покупать.
She sits in silence. Then the groom comes to buy the body. He throws gifts and coins. The bride comes out of the home, and everybody cries, like they are on the funeral. She goes out to the street. She is without protection. It is necessary to accompany her to her new home. There is a fireplace. She drips oil on fire. Wormwood is burnt. This is a new person. She is not alive yet. She sits down. An old man opens her face and introduces her to all guests and relatives. All these actions have justification. The family has to survive. And the whole ethnic structure is built on this.
И вся вот эта структура одержимости поведения, все на этом построено.
The great poet, philosopher and enlightener Abay Kunanbayev once said, "The song opens doors of the world to you. The song opens doors of the death to you. Kazakh man, listen to it, learn its wisdom. Your whole life is accompanied by the song." Songs of sorrow and grief, consolation songs are the special folk genre. People remember song of mourning, Жоқтау, farewell song Коштасу, songs telling sad news Естирту, songs of condolences Конул Айту. They are full of symbolism and poetic aphorisms.
Потому что если можно
It
сказать,
is believed that it is not good sign not to mourn a person. Maybe it is not a sin, but it is not good. It seems like the relatives are happy about the death. People condemn such actions. If relatives of the dead person do not sing Жоқтау, Жоқтау is the farewell song, then people condemn it. They say, relatives did not sing Жоқтау when this person died. Among the Kazakhs, it is a custom to sing this song and to mourn the dead person. And the last Жоқтау is sang on the memorial, which is held after 1 year after the death. For example, on the territory of Житесу, there are genres as Daues and Естирту. Genre Естирту is connected with music. When it was necessary to inform the relative who lived in another village or region, relatives came and sang this Жоқтау. But actually it's not Жоқтау, it is Естирту, song of sad song. We had such a good relative, and now we lost him. We said goodbye to your brother. When people come to the house where the person died, they cry, and it is a sign that they came. Why do they do this? They let people know that they are coming to the house where the dead person, so that people, women sitting in the house, know and begin to sing Жоқтау and mourn the dead person. There are epitaphs and requiems by prominent creators in European culture. In the steppe, Abay and Mashhur Jusub, for example, left their great works. Abay wrote many funeral poems after the death of his son Abdurrahman and younger brother Osman. He also composed the funeral song for his daughter-in-law Magısh. People with a poetic imagination called music as one of the ancient forms of time and space travel. Our ancestors imagined themselves as eternal wanderers of different worlds. They left us songs, which are the real wealth, pride and treasure of our people. The Kazakh village does not exist in the way it used to be, and there are no nomads or wandering people. But most of prairie folkways and traditions still surround us. We follow them, but we do not always know what they mean. Poet Бахыт Кайырбеков.